Welcome to episode 395, where I'm speaking with my client, Wendy, who is a busy working mom with 6 children. She talks about her journey with Ayurveda and her recent experience on the Digestive Reset Cleanse and the changes that she's made in her life, both personally and professionally. So please stay tuned to learn more about Wendy's journey. Hi there, I'm your host Colette, and on this podcast I will be sharing the teachings of Ayurveda, yoga, and holistic health practices. Now, if you're new to Ayurveda, I recommend checking out the first couple of episodes where I do an introduction to Ayurveda and the mind-body types. Thanks for listening, and now here's a new episode. Hello and welcome back to the Elements of Ayurveda podcast. Today, I'm very happy to welcome my client, Wendy, who's going to share her in real life Ayurveda experience. Wendy, welcome to the podcast and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to share my experience that I have had.
So, Wendy, let's start by introducing yourself to the audience, please. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Wendy. I live in Utah in the United States. I live here with my husband and our 6 kids. So we are never bored. We always have something to do.
I'm sure. 6 children, my goodness. Well, I come from a family of 6 kids as well. So yeah, I understand how busy it can be.
Yes, never a dull moment anywhere. So, and I've lived in Utah pretty much my whole life. I teach yoga and other fitness classes here in Bountiful, Utah. And then I also am the fitness coordinator at our rec center in Bountiful, which has been a lot of fun.
Great. Okay. So you've been in the health and fitness world for a long time.
Yes. Okay. I wanted to be an athletic trainer from the time I was like 12 and decided I didn't want to work with athletes, but I wanted to work one-on-one with people. So through college, my career choice changed and I started doing personal training and group fitness classes, and I've absolutely loved that atmosphere.
Great. And do you work with all age groups? I know you mentioned that you were working with children as well. Is that correct?
Yep. We have kid classes and that I helped with, and then we have all the way up to what we call our silver sneakers, which is our older population, our 65 and olders.
Oh, that's so great that you get to work with so many different demographics, because it can be so rewarding working with both children and then more elderly clients as well. So that's fantastic. Wonderful. Yeah. So tell us, how were you introduced to Ayurveda?
So it's actually kind of a funny story. My sister-in-law started with this multi-level marketing company, and it was backed by the Chopra Center here in the U.S. And so I started looking into what this place was, started reading a whole bunch of books by Deepak Chopra, and loved it so much I convinced my husband to do a 3-day retreat in Colorado with them. And we both just really embraced this idea of there's not a one size fits all, that everybody is unique and each person is unique. And it kind of helped us to see each other a little differently too, that he is a total pitta, and like starting to see our children in that same light, as far as what they were like and stuff. And so we started on that journey, and I've just tried to absorb and grasp as much as I could, from books to podcasts. I think that's about when I found you. I'm trying to think how long ago it was that I started listening to your podcast. I don't know when you started this podcast, but I swear it was in the 20th episode that I found you.
Oh, really? Early. Yeah. This is my 8th year doing the podcast. Okay. It started in 2017.
Okay. So
yeah. Wow. Yeah. Oh, you go way back. I didn't realize. Okay, great.
Yeah. It's just been an interesting journey, and I find myself, I try to go down one route and I end up coming right back to Ayurveda, just because I love one size doesn't fit all, because we are all unique and we're all going through different things at different times.
Right. I think that was a big realization when I first started learning Ayurveda, is learning about the different dosha types and people's tendencies. And it gave me so much compassion for people, where maybe before I may have been a bit judgy. But, learning about the different types really helped me understand how different people, not only physically different, but mentally and emotionally. And like I said, so much compassion for different dosha types now.
For sure. I think that we all go through that. I think too, especially like body frames, right? I remember when I first learned about the Vata and the Pitta and the Kapha body types, it dawned on me, a Kapha can never be a Vata. No matter how much I diet and exercise or whatever, if I'm a Kapha body type, I will never be a Vata. And to just embrace where we're at. I think that was something that was really opening for me, is to realize that you are a certain body type and you embrace that and you enjoy where you're at.
Yeah. And that's why I wish we are introduced to this even earlier in life, because particularly for young girls, worrying about body image and so on, I think it would just take away a lot of that stress, and understanding that each person is individual and that each dosha and constitution types has its own benefits, and then the things they have to work on and the things you just have to accept because it is what it is, So I really wish that it was introduced earlier into our lives. And hopefully it will get to a stage where it is, because it's really important, I think.
Yes, I agree completely. I think it helps so much. And like you said, it helps you understand a little bit more of your strengths and weaknesses in sports, or what activities are going to be helpful to you. I think it makes a big difference.
So you have been listening to Ayurveda then, learning about Ayurveda probably the past 5 to 10 years, right?
Yes. Yep.
And so then you got in touch with me in March, and you decided to do the cleanse.
Yes. Yep. So it's something that, I read about through different other Ayurveda sites about the, doing a self-guided cleanse and stuff. But I don't know, that it wasn't something that resonated with me, but doing the group cleanse and having somebody to guide and tailor things felt great. And I have a friend who every year on her birthday, she decides to do something new. And so I had convinced her, I was like, let's do this cleanse together. So she decided, and so her and I both did it together, which was really great to have a friend doing it. I think my husband felt a little left out afterwards. He's like, I would have wanted to do that. I'm like, but you couldn't take time off work. Like, you would have, that week that you're supposed to relax would have been a little bit harder for you.
Okay.
And so, but I think will join me on the next cleanse.
Great.
But yeah, so we decided to do the cleanse together, and it was really fantastic. It was a great experience to have you guiding us through, and then her and I would kind of talk, and we'd talk about the group chat that's available and stuff, which was also very helpful to be able to hop in there and see what other people were saying and ask questions and stuff. So
yeah. And it is, I think it's really important that it's tailored, because just doing a general cleanse can cause more problems if you're not really understanding what your current health status is, what doshas are out of balance. And for you, it was more kapha. We did a kapha pacifying cleanse, right? So we had to tailor all the recipes, the self-care and the lifestyle to you as well. And throughout the process, I know you were surprised that you weren't hungry. Tell us about how you felt during cleanse week.
So during cleanse week, at first it was kind of a interesting thing for me, because I eat not a very American diet, but a very basic diet. And so adding in a lot of spices or different things it was a great experience, and something a little different for me. And so, so going through, I told my friend afterwards, I'm like, I am craving khichdi again. She's like, you are? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to eat that. And she's like, I thought you would be done with it after this week, but I actually really enjoyed it. I work away from home, so it was nice to be able to wake up and prep the food and take it in a thermos, and it actually tasted great. And so the ghee balls were actually something that I found I really liked. And I know at one point I sent a message to you and I was like, I can't do any more cumin.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is there
Yeah,
something that we can do? And you were so great to tailor it and say, okay,
yeah.
why don't we try this? And I think that was another thing that was really great. And it was fun, again, because I had a friend doing it to kind of compare and see how different yet similar what we were doing. And so I love that it really was tailored to both of our needs, our imbalances, because she had a different imbalance than I did. And so it was really great to see how individualized it was. And so, and just all of those recipes, I mean, it was simple, yet it was enough. Like I actually found some nights I didn't even eat all of it. I didn't eat all of the soup. I didn't eat I was full. And I think that was a huge thing for me too after the cleanse, is that I felt like my body had reset. The quantities that I was eating, because in Ayurveda we talk about, just like your handfuls, like the size of your hands is about the size of food that you should be eating. And most of the time that's not what we eat. Most of the time we eat more. And so, but during that cleanse week, it was about that size or a little less. And then afterwards, I found that one pancake was plenty versus usually having 2 or maybe 3 pancakes, right? Or like a little container of yogurt was plenty versus sometimes you're like, oh, I'm still hungry after that yogurt. What can I eat? And so I felt that really reset my body. I ended up, I think during that cleanse week, I lost, I think it was 7 pounds, and I've kept it off.
Fantastic.
And so I wondered, if it would come back because it was like water weight or something, or I don't know, but I've kept that weight off, which has been fabulous. And I noticed most of it came right from my midsection, that I've probably just been holding on to a lot of stuff. And so cleansing everything out. I loved having more of a regular schedule because I was doing this group cleanse. I made sure I went to bed as close to 10 o'clock as I possibly could. And that made a big difference too. I noticed that resetting the energy levels and everything were great. And I've been trying to maintain that. The body massage, the oil massage, like that's been great. I haven't been able to keep doing that every night, but I try to do it at least once, if not 2 or 3 times a week still, because feels great. I told my husband about that and he started incorporating that from the start when I was doing that, and he liked that too. And so I think that for me, this has just been a really good eye-opening experience to reset my circadian rhythms, reset my food, and just be able to keep moving into a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah. And I think it's important that you take yourself out of the typical routines, right? I mean, you can do it. You were working throughout. It's possible to do that. It's just a little bit of prep before you leave, but we do as much batch cooking as we can. But it's important to get rid of all that excess. I know like sugar, that was something that you said you had no sugar cravings after the cleanse.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So taking all those excess things that we have out and just going to bare basics in this holistic cleanse, which is important too. So it's not only food, it's the Abhyango oil massage. It's also meditation and breath practices and living in tune with the circadian rhythms. And I think that's really important because you feel your system physically, mentally, emotionally in balance. And now that's the new barometer, right? That's the new foundation from which you're going to be judging going forward of how you're feeling physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I remember you talking about the cumin, and I really listen to people when they tell me, and I say when we're doing the consultation is you have to tell me if you don't like something, because then I don't think it's healing for you. And I think that intuitively people know if something is not agreeing with their body. So, so we made that switch. It's really important for me that people enjoy the food and tuning into if there's emotional eating going on as well, or if we're just habitually eating at certain times, that is the realization of how much food you actually need. And it really helps to reset that, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's tremendous. I think a big thing too for me was noticing at 7 o'clock, we tried to stop eating at 7 o'clock and I would start to get hungry. And it's that, pitta starting to work on your digestion. And I know that that's something in my fitness background that we talk to people about when they want to lose weight is that they'll have cravings at the end of the night and it's their body trying to maintain, it wants to stay the same. But when we're trying to lose weight, we want to not eat late at night and stuff. And
Exactly.
so I think that was something else that I noticed is that as I reminded myself, my body is trying to digest right now. It's not hungry. It's working through what it is. That also helped a lot. And that's been something that I've tried to keep doing as well, is to make sure that no matter what's going on, I'm done eating at 7 o'clock.
Fantastic.
There's nothing. And I think that was the other thing that was awesome for me is that that 1 week is such a short time, right? I mean, 7 days to do all of these things. And with the fitness background of watching people lose weight, a lot of times as soon as they go off of some sort of diet, they go right back to their old habits. Like it doesn't take very long. And I've been amazed at how much my body reset in just 1 week to be able to, like you reminded me, the sugar cravings still to this day, and we were, a month or so out. I don't even know how it's over a month, like
Yeah, it's over
almost
a
two
month
months.
now. Yeah, absolutely.
And I still I now will eat something that's, like if my family's having ice cream, I'll have some ice cream, but I don't want as much of it. And I don't find that I want to eat all of the sweets that are there. Like I choose
Right.
my favorite. And so it's been really great to see that just in such a short time frame. And I think doing that holistic approach is one of those things that makes that difference, is it's not just focusing only on your food. You're focusing on a whole lifestyle.
Absolutely. And you're bringing in, like you said, the stopping eating at a certain time, going to bed at a certain time, all those living in tune with the circadian rhythm really makes a difference and helps reset. And it's sustainable as well, which is great. Now you're seeing over 2 months out from the cleanse, you're able to have some sweets, which is
Mm-hmm.
great. And I really recommend that, like that 80-20 lifestyle. So you're not, being rigid. You're not feeling deprived that you're not getting to, share some ice cream with the kids or whatever, that you can still have it, but you're more satisfied with a smaller amount and you're not craving it the next day. So it really shifts. And it is the shift that comes from the microbiome and the gut reset. So physically and mentally, there's a real shift in how you perceive your food and also the emotions that are attached to food as well, right?
Yes. Yep. And I agree. I think it's an 80-20 principle that if we're doing our best, most of the time, then having that bowl of ice cream or, staying up late that one night a week or whatever
Right.
to enjoy an activity isn't going to hurt us as much as doing it consistently.
Yeah. And the thing now is that you feel empowered. Oh yeah, I can stay up late tonight and have some pizza with the kids. And then I know I'll be back on track tomorrow. So
Yes.
you feel confident now that you're not going to go off the rails for several weeks. You can back on track to those simple lifestyle choices that keep you in check.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. And so have you brought any Ayurveda into your work? I know you said that people were noticing when you're on the cleanse, they were asking you what you were doing. I think you said that to me in an email, right?
Yes, yep. I've been telling them all. And yeah, I mean, there's been definite people who have asked about, tell me more about it. And we'll always start with the food, but I'm like, but it's not just the food, it's like everything. And so I actually have found, and I feel like I do this kind of throughout, is when someone comes up and talks to me about something that's going on, I can usually start to identify, oh, you have a vata imbalance, or oh, you have, and so just encouraging them to, drink more water, or,
Mm,
to relax or to breathe, or, and so I
that's great.
think that that's been a huge thing, is it's helped me to recognize things that maybe are going awry in their life, and giving them some little advice. I mean, obviously I'm not a practitioner, So
But you have your own experience with it. And I
yes,
think why not? You're in a position professionally where you are giving advice and adding your knowledge of Ayurveda to that. I think it's great. I think it's great to incorporate that and for people to understand that, oh yes, there's no one size fits all. You really have to tailor the information to each individual, even when it comes to exercise, right?
yes, yes. And I think that I tried to do that throughout the years too, is, you see somebody who, most people come to the gym and they want to lift weights really fast. And so encouraging them to slow down. And I've had a couple of people who have been the opposite. And you can see that where their imbalances are, where I'm like, you got to lift a little faster. You got to pick up the
Right,
tempo and
right.
just, being in tune. And I think with the seasons too, right? Like I teach yoga. And I notice different times of the year we want a slow flow, and other times we want a little bit quicker flow to, change the energies that are going on around us. And I think
Yeah.
that that's another aspect that has been helpful, is to recognize, okay, we're moving into this season, and so we want to do this type of yoga practice or that. So that's been helpful.
Great is another great layer to add to your professional work and to those classes. And I love that personally, your husband is on this journey with you and interested as well. And so at home, you're mentioning that you're going to bed earlier. Have you incorporated some shifts at home?
Yeah, so we have been doing much better at going to bed, because I think that those have been things that we've been trying to get our kids to, tune out of technology earlier so that they too can go to bed. I think I've been a little bit more sympathetic to some of my kids who don't like breakfast, that they're indifferent, instead of making them eat breakfast to tune into their body. I do have one daughter who is the pickiest eater of all, like beyond picky eaters. And so it's been a journey trying to help them identify, the foods. And I will say I'm always amazed at how even in the same family, you can have very different imbalances, and trying to figure out, foods and stuff that will, appeal to everybody, and also be something that will balance them. And so,
Yeah, and to make life easier for you, right? With 6 kids,
right.
you're not cooking separate things. And I know after the cleanse, you were emailing me about that, like how, trying to determine your kids' constitution types. And I know I talked about this easiest way to manage everybody for the most part is eating seasonally, because
Yes.
what's in season will balance anything that's coming up in that season, any dosha imbalances of that season. For example, as we go into summer now, there's going to be a lot of hydrating summer fruits and cooling fruits and vegetables that show up in the farmer's market to help balance. But yeah, as a mother to a large family, you don't want to be cooking separately for everybody, but living with that rule of thumb of eating seasonally as much as possible is the best way to go. And and just watching your kids and understanding if there's a doshic imbalance showing up and how it's showing up in them can really help. I think Ayurveda can really help with parenting as well, just to watch not only, the physical symptoms, but also mentally, emotionally, and their needs.
Right, for sure. I think that that makes a big difference, because it's been helpful for me. Like I have a 8-year-old, and talking to her, like, remember, when you eat a lot of sugar, you don't feel as good, and to remind them, because with the end of school year celebrations here, there's been a lot of parties, and at parties, it's not very healthy food that they serve. And so reminding them, it's okay to have some treats, but remember how your body feels when you eat, when you overindulge in those. And so to
Yeah.
balance it out. And so I think that's been helpful to kind of teach them to start listening to their bodies.
I love that you're giving them the power of choice. Not like, no, you can't. It's like, yeah, have some, but just be aware of what it does to you. So now you have to make a decision. It's up to you. I think that's great. He's putting the decision on them and having them take responsibility.
Right. Yes. And then trying to get them to move. I think sometimes in the summer, when school is out, the easiest thing is just to sit down and play video games or to watch TV. And so one of my older daughters is like, okay, we're going to do technology free until 2 o'clock every day. And so I think that that's been something that's been helpful, is that you do have to tune into that creative brain when
Yeah.
you have those devices and stuff taken away. And so that's been fun to kind of, in these first few days of summer to see them think about what they can do that's creative and, together or individually. And so that's been a fun thing for them too.
Wow. So your daughter suggested going tech free?
Yes.
That's so impressive.
Right? Yeah. Yes.
Wow. Very impressive that she took that initiative. That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's
That's
fun.
great. Yeah, with yourself being a good role model as you're going through this cleansing process, your kids watching you, but obviously you're having an effect on the children now as well.
Yeah, it's been great. And they have been. They were really supportive. I mean, some of them would look at some of the food and go, ew, I'm like, it actually tastes pretty good. And some of them would try it. I think a couple of them tried the ghee balls and stuff.
Okay.
And some of them were like, oh, that's not too bad. And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
I love that because, more than what you say, what you do, they're watching, right? They're watching everything. They're taking it in like, oh, so this is what adults do. They do a reset at certain times of the year. And I think that's great because it becomes a normal part of life for them then.
right. Yes, I agree. I think that being that example is huge. And before we started the cleanse, you talked about making sure that I take that time for myself to do that massage and stuff at night. And I think that they see that, right? Like they see that mom is taking care of herself and the importance of that. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, we have nothing to give.
100%. Now, I recall that in our conversation, I was really encouraging you, obviously in the morning, you're up and out, you're getting the kids ready, you're getting yourself ready to go to work and so on. But I talked about at night taking just at least half an hour before bed for yourself and telling the kids, the family, like, hey, this is my self-care time. So I'm off the clock now
Yep.
and reinvesting yourself. And yeah, absolutely. Not only is it great for you filling up your cup for everyone that you need to take care of the next day, but also that they're seeing that. I think is wonderful and that they're understanding like that you're not available to them all the time, that you need some reset time. So I'm glad that you did that and then they saw that the importance of that for you.
Yes, I think that was good for them because it is important for all of us to make sure that we take care of ourselves. So I think that was very, very beneficial.
Yeah, and it definitely is a realization for them like, oh, yeah, mom needs time off.
For sure. For sure.
Is there anything else that you wanted to share, or if you have any advice or tips for the listeners from your own journey with Ayurveda?
I would say start with a group cleanse, like that if you can, or at least, a personalized cleanse with you, not a self-guided one, because I think having that group support is a great way to be guided. And I would say don't be afraid to speak up if something's not working for you.
Yeah.
I think that's been something that I've noticed as a personal trainer. I've always told my clients, I can't tell if an exercise hurts. You have to communicate that with me. As long as your form looks good, I don't know. And so I think it's the same with the cleanse, that if there's foods or if there's even scheduling things, like you were so great to work with me to make sure that I could do things in the evening because my mornings are crazy getting everybody out the door. And so don't be afraid to speak up and ask for guidance and help and suggestions. And to stick with it, like a week of it ends up being a little bit more than 7 days of the same food because we eat, that eighth day a little bit, but don't be afraid to stick with it. You can get through those things. You can have the same stuff and then just, empower yourself that taking that time for yourself is great. It's so beneficial in so many aspects of your life. And then if you do end up, 5 weeks later, getting back onto the bandwagon of all of your old stuff, feel free to reset. I think having grace for yourself is important. And being able to recognize that we're not perfect. We're all moving through different seasons and different things of, life, and to just take it one step at a time.
Yeah, great advice there. Absolutely. And I think that, sometimes it can happen that due to stressors or just life being busy that we can go back to old habits, but that's part of the learning process. And Ayurveda is a journey of awareness. And part of that, like, oh no, I went back on coffee or I started eating sugar again. Now you're getting to feel the effect of that food on your body and mind, and then looking at how you felt post cleanse, and that's again, just the journey of awareness. And then I'll find that people will come back and cleanse again, and then they won't go back to those old habits. But yeah, it's a process, and it's a real journey. But I think as well, as you were saying, the tailoring, and it's really important for me, not only to tailor the cleanse to a person's current Vikriti, current health status, but also to the lifestyle, because otherwise I don't want anybody stressed. It's going to defeat the purpose of the cleanse if somebody's stressed and overwhelmed. So it really is important for me to tailor to each individual. And I definitely wanted to do that for you, because you're a busy working mom with 6 children and managing a lot of different schedules. And that's really important, because I want it to be successful, and I want it to be something that's sustainable as well. So what does it look like in the future in regards to Ayurveda in your life, and professionally, personally?
I think for me, I'm going to keep being a connoisseur. I've always said that if I ever had, thousands and thousands of dollars, I would love to become a practitioner. I'd love to do more of what you're doing, but that's not in the cards right now with my 6 kids and stuff. And so I will continue to be a connoisseur of it. And also, I love introducing people to it. I love having them research and go and take a dosha quiz, because I think it's so eye-opening for them to see where they're at. I love talking about, oh, I think you're a pitta. And I love when they go and they take the quiz and I'm right. Sometimes I'm wrong, but I love when they go and take the quiz and see that, and then having that conversation of, okay, now we know that you need to do this, or, oh, we're headed into, summer, this is what's happening, or, like your digestive reset cleanses are at those times of the year where we get sick. And I think that was something that was neat for me, as my whole family got sick during that spring transition period. And I didn't. I was able to maintain and be healthy. And I think, pointing those things out, oh, we need to incorporate more spicy foods so that we can cleanse out, the buildup of this, or, different things. And so I think moving forward, I'll continue to, adapt and help other people see that. And of course, I'm going to refer them to elements of Ayurveda so that they can do the cleanse, because I think it's so beneficial. And your podcasts are phenomenal. I've loved your podcasts, and even ones where at first I'm like, I don't know if this one would really apply to me. I, go on and I listen to it and I'm like, oh my goodness, there are so many things that I can pull out of that help me and to help me re-engage. And so your podcasts are phenomenal. So thank you for all that you do.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate those kind words. It's a joy for me to do it. And just like you, I went through my own healing with Ayurveda, became so passionate. I want to spread it. And now you're doing it in your own way, opening those doors of awareness for people in your community who already trust you. And, they're already getting lots of health advice from you. And now this is another layer you can add on. So I think that's great to bring into your personal training and group fitness classes as well as your yoga.
Yeah, I think that's great advice.
Wonderful, yeah. Wendy. Well, I'm so glad that we got to connect after all those years of listening to the podcast, and that, you're making so many positive shifts in your life. Like I said, personally, professionally, that your husband's now interested as well. I think that's wonderful that you support each other and your kids are watching all of it. I wish you all the best in your ongoing Ayurveda journey. And I think you're just going to continue to open those doors of awareness for people in your community, which is fantastic. That's what we want. We want the ripple effect out, and that's how we bring Ayurveda into people's lives, which is great.
Right. For sure. It's not a one size fits all approach. And so I think the more that we learn that one diet, one exercise program, one of anything isn't going to fit everybody, and that we start looking for what we individually need, I think that's how we change.
100%. Great words of wisdom there, Wendy. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. I really appreciate you taking time out. I know you're off to teach a fitness class now, so I don't want to hold you up anymore, but thanks again for your time.
Oh, thank you so much. This is so fun because I have been listening to you. I feel like I know you. And so it's fun to be able to have this conversation with you. So thank you so much.
My pleasure, Wendy. Take good care of yourself and we'll connect soon.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks, Colette.
I hope you enjoyed that episode with Wendy, and thanks again to Wendy for sharing her experience. And if you would like your own Digestive Reset Cleanse experience, please check out the link in the show notes or visit my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com. I offer private cleanses throughout the year, and the next discounted group cleanse happens October 3rd. I also offer online consultations, educational programs, and my Reset, Restore, Renew program offers all my online services in one package. I have a comparison chart on my website so you can see what you get with each service and decide what's best for you. Or if you have questions before you book, then take advantage of my free 15-minute online services inquiry call. We can hop online and I can answer all of your questions. And if you haven't already subscribed or followed the podcast, please do so. And the new weekly episodes will download for you. And if you're getting benefit from this podcast, I would really appreciate a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. And please share it with a friend so we can spread this wisdom of Ayurveda. Also, I'd love if you could come join me on social media. My Instagram page is Elements of Ayurveda Podcast. And on Facebook, it's Elements Healing and Wellbeing. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take good care of yourself, be well, and bye for now. Slán go fóill.